Hello, listener. This is Suyana reading Chapter 13 from the All Inclusive Approach, The Art of Divine Remembrance. This chapter is entitled No Time Like the Present. No time like the present. When I think of how many times I've uttered that sentence right before throwing caution to the wind and stepping out of the box that confined me, I'm in awe. I'm reminded that no one has ever had the power to break my spirit. Most of the people I know believe I am capable, even destined for great things. Yet throughout my life, I've carried a deeply rooted fear of standing out and shining. To be noticed, followed, admired, or emulated has been a nearly crippling fear that still lingers even now. Who am I to be listened to or respected? Who am I to lead or be unique? I am. That is who we all are. We are expressions of pure potential. We suffer when we try to be the same, even though being different is the only real possibility. But after years of trying desperately to fit into the box, stepping into our uniqueness requires courage. Isn't it fascinating that we must cultivate bravery simply to be ourselves? It seems like it should come naturally. Yet many of us on the spiritual journey find the task of being ourselves almost too big to tackle. We need courage to change from a masked, security-seeking mental construct into a trusting, open, receptive, energetic being. Some changes are small, some are big, but change is always needed to find the inner peace, connectedness, and contentment so many of us seek. When the seeking ends, we realize it's an art of remembrance. These qualities belong to individuals emulating and expressing their authentic selves in the world. They are no longer searching for peace or harmony. They are embodying it. They have remembered. No longer satisfied with merely meeting physical needs or fulfilling others' expectations, we are being called to leap into the unknown. We are forging paths of authenticity, cooperation, self-expression, love, harmony, service, and acceptance. We are all worthy of the change we seek, the change we wish to embody and remember. For every one of us who completes the journey of seeking and reaches the stage of embodiment, there is another inspiring, authentic self to guide the way. That is the power we each possess. But how do you do that? How do you shift from comparison to radical individualism? How do you move from competition to collaboration? How do you transition from self-judgment and rejection to self-reflection and acceptance? You get inclusive. Now. When you find yourself seeking, comparing, projecting into the future or the past, or trying to manipulate or bargain with God to adjust this thing or that so you can feel better, pause and focus on your breath. Breath is your ever-present tool and access point to presence. As you consciously inhale, you receive all that Source has to offer. As you consciously exhale, you willingly share and engage with the world around you. Conscious breathing realigns you with the cycles of receiving life and offering your divine essence to all of creation. And you do it all day, every day. Here and now begin a habit of doing it intentionally. Purposefully receive love, guidance, relaxation, and more from your inhale. With your exhale, affirm your willingness to share, contribute, and relax into service to the evolutionary process of all of creation, which is what you are designed to be. You are creation, source, God in form, experiencing itself for the blessed opportunity to grow and evolve throughout all time and space and beyond. This is your eternal nature. Each being you encounter has the same purpose and power. This is how the eternal blends itself with the finite physical world. I'm reminding you again of this because it is the foundation of unconditional love. And I'm so excited to be in that vibration with you. Since some of these chapters are fairly short, I've decided to combine the discussion and the audiobook into one video for your convenience. And I'll be doing that with this chapter 13. So here we go. The reflection for chapter 13 is as follows. This chapter invites you to recognize that the greatest risk is not failure, but of perpetual postponement. The fear of being seen, heard, leading, sharing, or standing apart often disguises itself as humility, caution, perfectionism, or practicality. Yet your uniqueness is not accidental. Presence is a doorway through which your authentic expression enters the world. When you return to the breath, you return to yourself. There is no time like the present to be who you already are. You might have noticed a theme. I think I've even mentioned it as a theme in past videos about the breath, because it's such an accessible tool to draw you into the present, to support nervous system function, to bring your energy and mind and heart and system into cohesiveness. There's a reason it's part of almost every spiritual ideology, and it's spoken of with great reverence and sacredness. Breath is an access point, and yet again, it's one tool that you can use before you act, before you do that one next step. And no time like the present isn't goal-oriented. This chapter isn't about getting there. Once you really settle into the understanding of this dynamic reality that we're living in, getting there becomes irrelevant because you're an eternal being designed for experience, not accomplishment. Accomplishment can be an experience, but it's not meant to be the purpose. The experience is meant to be the purpose. So when you think to yourself, what's my purpose? A follow-up question to that might be, what do I feel called to experience in this moment? What do I feel like I want to express in this moment? And let the answers of those questions together guide you. The journal prompts for chapter 13 are 1. When have I held myself back from being fully seen? Think of a time where you chose to stifle your voice or remain in the shadows, not raise your hand, not interject an opinion, an idea, a philosophy, a belief into a conversation. Ask yourself, what was I protecting myself from? And journal about it. Number 2, what am I afraid might happen if I truly step into my potential? Rejection, responsibility, visibility, success. What are you afraid of? Number 3, what does my most authentic self want to express right now? Not someday, but right now. Again, if it's about experience and expression, as opposed to accomplishment and external fulfillment, what would you want to express right now? Number 4, where in my life am I waiting for the right time? What would change if I trusted that this moment is the right time? Not the right time for everything, the right time for the one next step, the next best step. Number 5, if fear were not leading my decisions, what small, courageous step would I take in this moment, in this week, in this month, in this year? What steps would you take to cumulatively fill out the entirety of an expression or an experience you wish to have. This topic is very near and dear to my heart because I can rest and revel in vision for, I wanted to say forever, even though that word is one I try not to use, for a very long time, let's say. There is very little action in the visioning and contemplative states. That's the beauty of them. They're very receptive oriented. And I can stay there and continue to stay there. It requires my conscious efforting, I would even say, to make action part of the process. So no time like the present is as much a reminder to myself as it is a sharing to you, because I have tried many different ways, many different modalities and hacks and tips and practices to blend in and become companions to the contemplative and visionary flow that I naturally am operating within most of the time. And so I have populated my life with catalysts. That way I have these reminders, whether they're people or checklists or calendars or notifications on my phone, reminders, all of those little supportive tools that I have put in place in my life to support my future self in completing tasks and bringing vision into fruition has been so helpful. And it was a gift I gave to myself. The exercise to go along with this chapter is called Breathe into Presence. The purpose of this is to interrupt comparison, projection, and hesitation by returning to embodied awareness. Step 1, sit comfortably with your spine upright. You want to be in a more engaged body posture than laying prone on the bed, for example. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, receiving life fully. Hold for a count of 4, resting in stillness. Exhale slowly for a count of 6, releasing resistance. This is a breath practice that is helpful for reducing stress once you get the hang of it. For shallow breathers, it can feel like a bit of a stretch and from one shallow breather to another, when we are continuously or consistently breathing shallow, when we take deep breaths, it's stretching out areas in our body that are not normally getting stretched out so much because of our shallow breathing. So if you stick with it, you'll actually become a more deep breather over time, which is a lovely side benefit to this practice. And step 5 is repeat for 5 cycles. As you breathe in this practice, you can internally affirm, I am here, I am now, I am more than enough, I am more than worthy. After your final exhale, ask yourself gently, what wants to be expressed through me today? Do not force an answer, simply listen and act. The contemplation for chapter 13 is, isn't it fascinating that we must cultivate bravery to simply be ourselves? Sit with this. Notice when you have mistaken self-expression for danger. Notice when courage is quietly asking to emerge. Presence is not about becoming someone new. It is about allowing who you are already, to breathe and be the expression that you embody. And our quote today is, "You are born an original. Don't die a copy." From John Mason. As always, please like, subscribe, share with people who you think this might resonate with, and feel free to leave a comment. I always look forward to connecting with you. Until we meet again, be well and enjoy the now.